just to give a little presentation.
Well, thank you, Craig. I appreciate it. I apologize for running late. That's always say hello to my good friend Bill Connor here. We had, inevitably, Murphy's Law comes across. Anytime I need to be somewhere at a specific time, that's when everything's going to go wrong and can go wrong. So I apologize for being late, but I talked with Craig, who another good friend of mine. I see some familiar faces here. Asked me to speak about technology in the police work this morning. So all I can tell you is that initially we were a little behind the learning curve with getting up to date with the technology that was available because technology is not free. So we finally, the sheriff made the decision, let's just bite the bullet and get caught back up because some of our records management systems were from the 80s based on old DOS programs. So we were having compatibility issues. But the good news is we finally purchased the equipment that we need. And what this does is allows officers to have in-car access. It tells the communication center where they are at all times with automatic vehicle locator that displays it on the map. It has the ability to, they can send all the information. If they get a call in, let's say a domestic, a typical call will get it. You know, if there's a white male wearing a green shirt and khaki pants, they'll give that all that information so the officer knows what he's doing before he gets there and has that information as it's live feed coming into the sheriff's department. That's just some of the best benefits of it. And we're integrating all the records management, evidence management into one consolidated database. So they can pull it if I go to his house, let's say, I can pull up everything we've ever done there. You know, has he been a victim, has he been a suspect, has he ever been pulled over? It just connects everything that we once had to go and look up independently from one another into one streamlined database. Now, some of the things we've done, I have the honor of having the traffic canine division, which are all specialized units. And the running joke in the sheriff's department is you got to wait for somebody to die or retire to come out of there because it's a good job to have. We've actually upgraded not only with that same information and systems that I just described, but our video systems in the car have really taken us to another level. We've gone with completely digital video systems. You'll see that it looks like mushroom tops on the back of the car. When they pull up to the particular office that has the server in it, all the videos from whatever the officer's done wirelessly uploads the video. Now the vehicle is very user-friendly. And first look, we looked at every system on the market. So when we got these in, I've got some guys that are back on computer geeks. They love messing with this stuff. Well, the vendor comes in, each vendor comes in. I said, okay, that's great. He can do it. I got the guy that knew the least amount about it. I sat him down. I said, now I'll see if he can grasp this learning curve like the rest of us can. So we've got a system that was very effective. It'll actually overlay. If I can pull up a video, double click on it, it'll show me the date, time, and obviously everything will transpire in HD quality video. But if I needed to overlay, if someone says, oh no, I stopped in 2 blocks. The reason why I'm using this as an example, this has already come up. A young lady complained that she was stopped for DUI. She goes, I stopped for 3 blocks, and she made some other outrageous allegations that were completely false. But once you look at the video, there's his, hers, and the truth, and that's the way it always comes out. We looked at the video, and it overlays it on Google Maps. You can ask it to overlay it on Google Maps, and it will absolutely show you exactly what transpired because it has a GPS integrated into that as well. That's another good benefit because as much as we, adhere to the speed limit and highway safety, cops are the worst about speed. And so this is actually, for my guys, it's actually more of a tattletale because we all have been through, the guys in the traffic unit have been through collision reconstruction. So we're able to reverse engineer, take a collision and basically back it up in a timeline based on physical evidence and what have you. But what they have this day and age, we just spent $8,000 through grant money to obtain we call it the black box, like an airplane. There's only one company that makes it, and they obviously had a monopoly, and I'm trying to get the job with when I retire. And it's the only ones that sell this box. It plugs up to the car's power control module, and it'll extract all the information for the last 30 seconds of anything that happened on the car. Now that is huge because it's actually helped us solve some cases that we, based on the dynamics of the collision, we wouldn't have been able to solve or at least get the information on. And so that's how technology is kept on. Is that me? I'm sorry. But we have continued to use that. The video system. What is so neat about the video system, aside from the wireless upload, that keeps an officer from having to to take a medium that's recorded on out of the car, go inside, load it up, and that constant back and forth, if it's going to get lost, it's going to get torn up. There's a whole number of things that can happen. When you wirelessly upload, it takes all that out of the equation. And as it cut down on complaints and raised our prosecution level, absolutely. Typically, you're going to have that impaired driving. That's a you can ask any officer, it's easier to prosecute a homicide than it is a DUI. We've had some of the most convoluted legislation in the state. It's gotten better. I'm an optimist, it's gotten better. But the glass was this full, and we're talking a glass that's this tall. So we filled it up a little bit more, but we have a long way to go comparatively to some other states. We absolutely cater to the people that especially repeat offenders. I'm all about, and I use this as an example, and I serve on the state board with MAD, and some of my MAD moms get twisted with me about this, but I tell them, I said, I think you're trying to change behavior, that we need to look at better ways of doing that rather than just coming down with a heavy fist, because all that's going to do is teach people how can I get caught again. Yeah, that's what they learned, and we use that example in domestic violence court. It's a sad state of affairs. We have a central domestic violence court as well, and the part of what they incorporated in that is behavioral change. They put them through counseling, because I mean, if you're convicted of a CDB, that's a violent crime. You can't possess a firearm ammunition ever again. And that's important for some people, and so we use that as a model that if you want to change behavior, you need to give them the tools to do that. So I look at it the same way as impaired driving. Now, repeat offenders, I'm a big believer in everyone needs a second chance, but if you're on the shallow end of the gene pool and this is your third, fourth, and fifth time, then you got what's coming to you. Then that's if you're not stepping up the learning curve here, then you've got problems. But that technology that we have, that video, it is just unbelievably awesome in its context of how it's helped us. And we're actually going to, the next phase we're doing is the canine cars. We're going to put all video systems in that, digital video systems. That's just the clarity that you have. The best part of it is, for those of you, and I hope no one ever has to go to court, but it's just kind of the inside humor that you'll get Pippi Longstockings come into court. She's got her little bo-peep dress on and pigtails. And what you saw on the side of the road that night was someone that had a mouth worse than a sailor, kicking, spitting, cussing, you name it. And we've actually implemented in that same system, we have infrared cameras in the back seat of the car. So even in pitch black dark, you can see everything with crystal clear clarity about what happened. And that's changed. I know most of the attorneys around here, and they'll call up, Jim, what do you think about this case? I said, I'll tell you what. I said, stop on by the office. Let's just pop the DVD in. I'll even buy the Pepsi, and we'll take a look at it. Let me go see my client, because this is a whole different so they encountered the same thing as what they were told versus what happened. So the technology that we have, it's technology, especially I use computers as an analogy, that whatever's right now 6 months from now, what you had 6 months ago is already antiquated and archaic. And so we try to get systems that are expandable and have that capability of sustainability. Because that's one of my big things also as a taxpayer. I mean, I hate paying taxes just like everybody else, but I want to make sure that we get the most bang for our buck, that what we spend today, that we can expand on, and it's going to be useful 5 years from now and 10 years from now. I think a lot of people, my opinion, I think we've done a great job of in Lexington County, but I can see in other venues in government that we haven't done that. You need to look beyond 6 months and 12 months. We need to look at 3, 5, and 10 years down the line. How does this affect? And that's one of my personal beliefs. So I think we have a long way to go to get better at doing that. Now, I will tell you that Lexington County, we've strived very much hard, because it is a big deal with tax, especially folks that have been hammered with increases. I know I cringed when I got my property taxes in, and I want to know where my money's going. And so that's why we try to show that we're spending that money in the most frugal manner we possibly can. So, yes, sir.
Question: the video, is that public record or is that privileged information?
No, it's anything that happens in police work. That's a great question. Anything that happens in police work is available under FOI, unless it's under a pending investigation. So if the case has been adjudicated, meaning it's already gone through court, you can